I can't think of a better way to start a video than this little guy riding his dirt bike through a bunch of Indians. Look at him go. I think it's undeniably true that Indian makes an absolutely beautiful motorcycle. And before we go any further, and I get some guy on there who just likes to poke the bear and wants to say, it's not an Indian, it's a Polaris. One, Polaris is a phenomenal American company. It is not an insult, but it's simply untrue. Polaris owns the Indian Motorcycle Company, yes, but it's a completely separate company run by completely separate management, making completely separate products. It's always frustrating to me when I hear people say that as if it's supposed to be some sort of an insult. Anyhow, Indian does a great job at making a wonderful motorcycle, and it competes squarely with the Harley Davidson in almost every category. Although one place it is lacking is in the culture. There's no motorcycle brand in the world who has the culture that Harley Davidson has. But some things are happening across the country that are starting, and I mean just starting, to change that fact. Now, before we get into what is changing and what is happening, let's talk about what needs to happen. Two things really need to happen for this culture to cultivate the way the Harley does. One is the riders themselves need to get behind it and need to get motivated about the activities, about coming together, about making that culture strong. And two, the corporation, Indian itself, needs to double down on events and dealerships and all the things that can create the culture and grow it. And let me tell you, it's a great time to do it because the ideology of brands is less now than I've ever seen it in my motorcycle career. You go to Sturgis, you see more and more other brands. You see more and more Indians. You see more and more of all kinds of brands out there that are welcomed and are not looked down upon and just join in the rally. How do we elevate what is probably the Achilles tendon of Indian, right? It's their weakest point. Frankly, the thing they need the most of to really bring it back to what it once was. Well, there's one event that happens every single year. In fact, in 2026, it'll be their 10th year anniversary. And just this last year in 2025, I attended it. And I have to say, it was a pretty good time. What I'm talking about is Indian Bike Week, and it happens in New Richmond, Wisconsin, which is right on the border of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and it happens every year directly after the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally. And this truly is a grassroots, authentic motorcycle gathering. It is exactly the type of thing that Indian as a brand needs, and in fact, we're going to collectively try to break the Guinness Book World Record for the largest parade of Indians. I held an event to break the world record for the largest parade of Harley Davidsons a few years back with my friends over at Paris Harley Davidson. And now this year, 2026, I'm going all in to try and break the world record for Indian at Indian Bike Week. Upon arriving to Indian Bike Week, I noticed the venue is absolutely perfect. They got this really rad campground right on the river where you can do river floats and tubing and all of that type of activity, which is, you know, not really motorcycle type stuff, but heck, it's nice in August to jump in a river and go for a float. It's called Indian Bike Week, and this morning we are going to be doing a ride honoring our veterans and first responder. I am riding this Loner Chieftain that Indian Corporate gave me so I could participate in this event and share what it's all about with you. It's a week-long event all around building the culture of the Indian riding community. Okay, we're just getting ready to head out on this veterans and first responders support ride. And it just keeps going around the corner. That is a lot of American muscle hitting the road for a very good cause. The rides at Indian Bike Week really seem to be the focal point. So they do several rides. The Veterans Ride took us across some valleys, along waterways, through historic towns. But we had plenty of stops, and they were adequately spaced apart. Okay, we got a bunch of Indians piled in this gas station here. Look at the sea of bikes, man. It runs all the way down there. It's over there. We got that gas station filled up over there. This is motorcycle culture, and it doesn't always mean you have to be in a specific brand. Some of us don't care what brand of bike you're riding. We just want you to ride. I know that's kind of a little ironic considering this is an Indian Bike Week, but I don't think there's anything wrong with having events that support a brand as long as you know it's about supporting that brand, and it's a chance for these riders to come together. Honestly, I just think this is huge for the brand of Indian motorcycles and something they need more of. All right, a little stop here. This is not our lunch stop, but it's just a little hangout spot, but it's called the Outpost.
Bay City.
Ah.
We're in Bay City.
In Bay City, Wisconsin. And I really want to introduce you to this guy right here riding this Indian. Look at this thing. It's absolutely filthy, and for good reason. All right, y'all, I want you to meet Patrick Hornell. And is it just Patrick Hornell on Facebook or Instagram? Where do you do your stuff?
On Facebook, it's Vroom Old Man.
Vroom Old Man. I can dig that. Listen, man, this guy is on an epic journey on this Indian Challenger. And how many miles do you have on this bike right now?
A little over 104,000.
And how long ago did you get the bike?
104 days, well, 105 days ago. Today's day 105.
Got the bike 105 days ago. He's got 104,000 miles on it. He's ridden every single day since getting the bike.
Yes.
And
I was off for 5 days when I broke my collarbone.
yeah, he got blown over. Tell him the story.
So I broke my front rim. I was sitting on the shoulder of the road. My buddy pulled up with a trailer. We went to get it loaded on the trailer. I had just stood it up off the kickstand, and a tractor trailer went by so close and so fast, blew the bike over to the sleep position, slammed me into the ground, broke my collarbone, tore my rotator cuff, and cracked the rib.
I want you to look at his bike. I want you to hear his story. I want you to follow him if you can, because you're riding for a cause. This is not just for fun.
Correct. We're riding for myotonic muscular dystrophy, which is one of the 9 muscular dystrophies. You know, I don't like people enough to do a poker run, so I figured we'll go out and do this myself.
Well, you're doing an amazing thing, man. Your bike is awesome. I'm going to do an entire walkthrough of his bike and his setup, but you'll have to go over to my Facebook page to watch that, because if you don't know, I recently got hacked. They deleted like 700,000 of my followers on Facebook, and we're trying to rebuild it. So here's some exclusive content you're only going to get on Facebook, and it's a walkthrough of what this guy did to his bike to be able to ride. What's your total goal?
It's a 125 plus ride, so I'll hit 125,000 on September 2nd, and then we have to see what the plus is.
All right, man. Well, I wish you most of luck. That is some serious endurance riding, and he's doing it out in the Indian. Any engine problems after 100,000+ miles?
Not yet.
Nothing yet. I think it's pretty cool what he's doing, and the best part about it is he's humble. Sometimes, not for nothing, okay? I'm a distance traveler by like long periods of time, and my idea of traveling is getting out and meeting the people, seeing the culture, raising money for charity at individual stops, tasting the food, you know, seeing the architecture. Guys like him, their idea of long distance travel is grinding out huge miles every single day and being on that road in the saddle. 2 completely different mindsets to travel. And not for nothing, but sometimes some of the guys, not him by any means, get a little entitled that do those big miles, right? Like they expect to have certain, okay, maybe I'm speaking out of line. I met a guy one time, and I forget his name, but he was doing a big long trip like that, and he was like entitled. Like he came to my campground and told me I had to post on him how he was the best and baddest ever, and why I should be putting him all over my channels, and just like was almost mad at me because I was like, well, you know, I need to check you out and get to know you before I start sharing you with my community. I protect my community. I care about my community. And his response to that was so entitled that I decided not to share any of his stuff, and now I've forgotten who he even was, but this guy right here, super humble, super nice, driving with broken bones, crushing those big miles, and not acting like he's better than anybody else for it. And those are my motorcycle people. Just bellied up to the bar here, having a nice water with my friend Panda. What's up, Panda? Nope, Panda don't like the camera. He's camera shy. I just gave him a piece of sausage. I thought we'd be tighter than that. In between stops, the riding and the routes were actually really pleasant. Rolling hills, beautiful waterways, awesome bridges. This was an enjoyable ride. And that, my friends, is a ride across Wisconsin and Minnesota, honoring our veterans and first responders. Now we have arrived at the airport. We're gonna go into an airplane hangar, and all the veterans in the house are going to get fed a free lunch. Not a bad ride. All right, let's take a walk inside. There's a whole museum in here. How incredibly cool is this? Man, this is where we'll be dining. That's pretty neat. This is probably one of the coolest places I've ever had lunch. So they got a couple pinup girls, pinups for vets, and they got these planes out here, and they're letting people get photos with these planes and the veterans. They even brought in a professional photographer. It's Ride 2 of Indian Bike Week, and we are headed to a vineyard out here in, I think it's in Minnesota, it might be in Wisconsin. I'll get you the details, but the bikes are just lining up. Before we go, I want to show you one thing. Check out this Indian Harley combination. I want to hear from y'all which one you like better. They're both pretty rad builds. We got the pink and white Sportster S, I believe.
Sportster S, yep.
And next to it, we've got the Indian Scout. I don't know, man. I like them both. I kind of like the Indian Scout better myself. I like the fat white logos on that black tank. It just looks tough. Looks good. The ride for children's school supplies was also a great ride. This took us down some more rolling hills with some even bigger elevation, more waterways, and beautiful Wisconsin scenery. And it took us to a winery, and this winery was an awesome host. All right, we have arrived here at Vino in the Valley, and this is just a beautiful little winery, restaurant kind of venue, about an hour outside of Minneapolis. And all the bikes are piled in here on the grass. You can see the winery right there behind us, and everybody's lining up, piling into the restaurant. It really was a nice event. And what we were doing is raising money for underprivileged children and their school supplies. This is an important cause, and it's a wonderful reason to get out and ride. Now in 2025, we did not have the riders to break the world record, so we didn't do the attempt, and we really just had a great time hanging out and enjoying the venue. And I know every year, this thing continues to grow. Next year is gonna be even bigger, and I hope all of you come out and join us. And this is going down August 13th through 23rd, right there. If you wanna get more details, go to IndianBikeWeek.com, check them out, go sign up, make the commitment now. If you commit now, not only does it help us know what we need to do to break this world record, but it also gets you committed. So you're gonna get up, you're gonna saddle up, you're gonna take that trip, you're gonna ride out no matter what the weather's doing, no matter what the economy's doing, no matter what's happening around us. This is why we ride motorcycles. It's therapy. Get on the bike, ride out, join me. Let's break a Guinness Book World Record together, help grow the Indian motorcycle culture. And in all of this talking about Indian motorcycle culture, I want to be clear. There were Harleys there, there were other bikes there. Whatever you ride, you're welcome. But if you happen to be on an Indian, it's extra important you make it and help us bring home that world record.